bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what, because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
I've been with FedEx for 6 years now, and it just shocks me that in 2024, I'm still being told that there are certain towns that I can't deliver in. And when I ask why, they say they're sorry that people are the way they are, but I can't deliver there. And it's crazy because when I first started at FedEx in 2018, and my supervisor there, I was in Springfield, Illinois, and she told me, like, you can't go there. And I was like, huh? She's like, you can't go there. And I ain't too much think of it. And so I was delivering one day in a different town, and I had a late pickup, so I had a few hours to spare. So I'm like, I'll just drive over to the next town. It's like 12 minutes away. Like, I'll just go to the Walmart. You can always kill time at Walmart. I drive over to the Walmart. I walk in, and the looks I got made me immediately turn around, go back to my truck, and drive, the little 12, 13 minutes back to the town that I was in. And I parked in an abandoned parking spot, and I just sat in that abandoned parking spot for like 2.5 hours. And yeah, she's like, I'm sorry, but that's just the way they are. And then when I went to Wisconsin, I was cool. I always delivered to the rural areas, but then I had a guy, talk to me crazy, like, just real crazy. Anywho, and now I'm here, and it's a route that I can't do because I'm black. And it's not because I can't do the route, it's because of how the people in that town act, or how drivers have been treated in that town, the same color as me. So now they just stick to putting people in that town that look like those people. And that's so crazy, because it's 2024. It's so crazy, but yeah.
And so you have it. In 2024, all the people had a conversation about 2 months ago. About 6 weeks ago. Yeah, it's about 2 months. About how the perception of what America is and your understanding is based on race. So when you go through your entire life thinking that you're right about everything, then your perception of this happening, you would be against it To the point where when you argue that things like this happen, people argue with me and say, that's not true. That can't be true. Like, you're black, so you're making it up because, you're just exaggerating. Or, as I've had people tell me, you're playing the race card. You allow your wife and girlfriend to play the girlfriend card, the white girl card with, white girl tears. Why not play a race card? Everybody has their privilege thing they do, right? I'm just saying. Now, there was a story a while ago, not too long ago, that talked about that there are actually laws in Wisconsin that are sundown laws in cities and towns in Milwaukee. Some of them are up north. Some of them are out west. And I don't know the names of these towns, but when people talk about coming up north, this is my coming up north. I came up here north from Chicago. That's about it. I've been to Superior and Green Bay. As far north, let me think. I went to a town up near Cleveland one day to a party that I went to and got looked at like I was a two-headed frog. And I mean, literally, I was the only black guy there. It was an outdoor party in a big park with, like a shelter. And people were drinking and having a good time. And so the only thing I remember is that we drove up to Cleveland, Wisconsin, and then drove about 30 minutes west of there. I don't know what's there. I don't know the name of the town. But I remember being there and telling my friend, hey, dude, when it gets dark, I don't want to be here. And it got about 4 or 5 o'clock. And I said, you know what? And it was in the fall. I said, okay. And it must have been the early fall because the sun hadn't gone down yet. And I said, we need to get out of here. And because I knew we were going where we were going, I made sure I took my gun with me. I was still a cop. And I took my gun with me because I remember, there are some places I'm not going. Now, y'all seem to think that when you go into the hood, as you call it, or the neighborhood, or the black neighborhood, or whatever they call it up north, what they call our neighborhood, they probably just call it Milwaukee. They seem to think that they have to protect themselves because, oh my gosh, something bad will happen. When in fact, I feel safer in my neighborhood and in my city where other people think horrible, bad things happen, and sometimes they do, versus being up north with my family or alone in a town that says I can't be there past a certain time. What this young lady had to say, who works for FedEx, it was posted on TikTok, reposted on X. Unfortunately, that is how it is. Like we invented home ownership associations, HOAs, to keep black people out of certain neighborhoods. We created HOAs to make sure, and watch this. If I'm not mistaken, there's a rule that if the company who builds the subdivision keeps a house or two on the subdivision, they get to control what happens on the subdivision because they built it. Now, I don't know that exactly, but somebody let me know. 833-212-1017. And so that is one of the ways you can control who moves in by how much money they make, what their credit score is. And to be honest with you, subtly what their race is. I still remember moving to town and going to buy a house in about 90, I came here in 93, so in about 94, I wanted to buy a house. And I was looking at a really nice house on the southeast side of Milwaukee. And the woman literally, the realtor told me, I think you would be better moving to the north side. And I said, why is that? Like, Literally, why is that? And it was just bizarre to me that we don't let, and that was it. Like, we don't let. And I'm like, what do you mean we don't let? Like, huh? Like, that's a negative. Like, what? I don't understand that. But somebody said there's been restrictions on black movement for decades. And I get it. Now, this was years ago. And so now somebody sent me a text and I need them to explain what happened. Is there something that happened or that I didn't think of that person? But I digress. At some point, when will we move past that? And so how do you move past what she just went through? Because if black people do it, they'll rule it unconstitutional. But nobody, and I vaguely remember Governor Evers saying something about it and saying the laws are antiquated. But of course, nobody wants to intercede in local government, right? So you'll let somebody do something that is constitutionally illegal. So you don't have to bother with them. And then you only bother when your term comes to an end and you got to run, and then all of a sudden you'll be trying to shut down all these laws. And then when it doesn't happen, you'll blame it on the legislature. Somewhere, somebody has to sue. But how do you get standing in a town where no one will let you be there after dark? They won't sell you a house. You can't buy a business there, and you can't do business there. So how would you ever have standing to say, hey, this happened to me, it was unconstitutional, and I want to sue about it? Only people that can take care of that is the legislature. And I'll be honest with you, with the legislature that we have in today, they're not going to do anything about it, black or white, Hispanic or Asian, liberal or conservative. I would expect the conservatives not to do anything about it, but the liberals won't do anything about it either because it's too hot. I'm running for office. I'm running for re-election. And now they're taking over parts of cities and saying you can't move in their neighborhood. Mark my words. The city of Milwaukee is on its way. I'm watching people move in. I'm watching people walk past my house, and I say hello and they don't speak. White couples, younger white couples, late 20s, early 30s, moving on the block, and now they're acting like they own the block. They're acting like they want to put out some edict to tell everybody, this is how you're supposed to cut your grass, and this is how you got to cut your trees, and this is when you got to put those types of things, right? And unfortunately, in Milwaukee, you don't have to worry about that. Because in the end, your neighborhood will become a sundown town.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 101.7 The Truth. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
It's that time, Milwaukee.
Summerfest is finally here.
Come and enjoy the world's largest music festival this Thursday through Saturday this week.
Many of music's top artists will be coming to Summerfest, and not only can you see great music performances, but you can also watch us do Jam with the Juice live from Summerfest noon to 1 on Thursday and Friday.
That's right. It's lit, y'all, so don't miss out on all the fun at Milwaukee's biggest summer party. Get your tickets now at summerfest.com.
You know one thing about Biden?
Here you go again.
When he makes a promise, he keeps it.
Okay, like what?
He got us out of the pandemic, got the country back on its feet.
Okay, sure.
And when all that recovery money was getting spent, Biden made sure that black businesses and communities got our fair share.
So, man?
That's a promise made and a promise kept.
Okay, but what else?
New roads, new bridges, high-speed internet, even out in the country where your brother lives.
Yeah.
Lower health insurance rates. Didn't your premiums go down?
Uh-huh.
That's another Biden promise kept.
Looks like it.
My mom's medication costs less. Your cousin's insulin is now only $35.
Okay, but what about jobs, building wealth?
Under Biden, the number of new black small businesses is booming, and black unemployment hit a record low. See? That's another...
Okay, I get it. Promise made, promise kept. I can see that now.
Told you. Biden and Harris are getting the job done for us.
I'm Joe Biden, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Biden for president.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as one business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you or someone you know between the ages of 15 and 17 and a half looking to obtain a driver's permit? Be road ready with Greater Milwaukee Urban League. Monday through Friday from July 15th to August 2nd from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. you can work to get your driver's permit. For more details or to see if you qualify for this opportunity, please contact Darnell Lathan or visit tmul.org for more information.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that American Family Insurance agents can help build a customized renter's policy so you can protect stuff like this, or even this. Well, case in point. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Al, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Happy Friday. No, happy Monday. I'm sorry.
I was like, did I miss a day?
Here's a question, and I'm starting to find this very, very disturbing. I noticed here in the inner city of Milwaukee, they're throwing up all these low-income housing, like the old Addison Middle School. They're making that a low-income housing. They're putting low-income housing on King and Locust. Green Bay and Long Island, that whole block is nothing but low-income. They're taking the welfare building on Valete, 12th and Valete, making it low-income housing. We already have low-income on 20th and Valete at the old Carter's elementary school, where they also are building new houses. You got low-income housing over there. I think it's called Windsor Court. And you got another one. They're popping up all over the inner city. And what I'm starting to feel that some of these Democrats and the Republicans have made a deal with the devil, because it seems like everything that comes to black people in Milwaukee is low income. And I'm not putting nobody down when it comes to low income. I don't see how that's an asset to the inner city when it deals with you paying cheap rent. I know 12th and Valete, they're going to have a mental health food pantry. There's a mental health which is actually one block from 12th and Valete. And how is that helping the inner city? Also, let me add, they have a low income on 15th and North, where the back parking lot ain't nothing but dirt. And it's just like they're trying to group or segregate a certain group in class of people. And I'm like, well, y'all talk about all the great things in Milwaukee, but when it comes to the inner city, it's nothing but rubber grills, EBT, and a bunch of people that you're trying to group to make them feel comfortable about paying cheap rent. And from the research, that's not really good for no neighborhood. And when they tried that with Glendale fought back immediately because they said you're not going to throw no low income. But I noticed when it comes to inner city of Milwaukee, they're throwing up all this low income, but they're not trying it with no other suburb around Milwaukee. And I see Crowley had his hand there, Malele Kai, because she's nothing but an opportunist, Cavalier Johnson. I also recall Deontay Johnson, who's a Republican, talked about the great things of low income when it comes to giving resources to blacks. And I'm trying to figure out how is that helping black people? I feel it's enabling black people. I thought the goal was to boost the economy, try to get these people working. And I don't mean them being a CNA or a daycare teacher, but we keep throwing up all this low income. And I feel black people is worth more than low income.
So what is it that we should do then?
Well, I think it would be great to, number one, try to get these black people to get some type of a GED, try to get them some type of education or trade that is not a CNA or a daycare teacher where they can get some type of training, some type of education. How about push them to be homeowners? Since considering Milwaukee is the duplex capital of the world, considering in Russell Stanford District, there's 3 houses on the corner of 18th and Haley where it's a tarp that's been blowing off. The grass is so tall, it got sleep apnea. And these houses are being sold dirt cheap, but they're not giving black people the opportunity to even try to buy a house when they're paying a slumlord $890 a month for a house where there's no top porch and it's a recliner. We got 453 factories. In the United States alone, all these factories are either building new plants somewhere else, but I guess Milwaukee feel it doesn't make no sense to try to get them to come there where we can boost the economy. And I feel like they're trying to do segregation on black people because the only thing that's popping up is low income.
Well, I think also part of the issue is that we're letting them. We're not investing in our own communities. We're not stepping up and taking these things. We don't want anybody to go to jail. We don't want anybody to police us. We don't want anybody to tell us what to do. But then it's stopping us from growth. It's stopping us from creating jobs where people have upper middle class income. And so everything that we do is detrimental to us. I think it might seem like they're trying to segregate us, but I think we might be doing it to ourselves.
Right, because I personally feel like we have so many great talents. We have so many great traits.
Yes.
I always try to push back and tell people you can do this, but you have to be a vocal voice. You also have to apply that pressure to yourself. And even when I call some black politicians, the office said, well, they don't have no hands in that. And I said, well, it's mighty funny their faces on there with the rest of the black politicians.
Right.
But I know y'all don't try this in no other suburbs surrounding Milwaukee. They say, oh, well, okay, I can't answer that. And then I don't understand how that's good for the homeowners because a lot of times with low income, it has a lot of low income issues. And it's not helping the inner city. Also, I noticed we have non-blacks buying houses. That's wonderful. But why we're not trying to help black people buy houses, whether somebody is paying $10,000, $13,000 to a slumlord, but you're going to sell a house to an out-of-town company that the woman owned for 30 years for $30,000. And I feel like some of the – oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
And I just feel like some of these politicians, whether Republican or Democrat, has a deal with the devil. And I also tell black people, this is not the last road, low income for you. So you also need to try to do this, try to do that, try to push them to do that. But then when you ask these black politicians, and I know they're not God, I understand that.
Well, but that's because we're always looked at, and politicians always look at us as our lowest common denominator. So we're always looked at as being poor. We're always looked at as being not ready, not educated. Not like when people started complaining and screaming about NPS, The first thing they kept talking about is our black babies. Black babies ain't the only ones that go to school at MPS. They're not the only ones struggling at MPS. But we seem to think that if we switch over to equity, black kids are going to get more. Aren't you doing to those black children? I'm sorry, aren't you doing to those non-black children what we say white people did to us back in the 50s? But yet they seem to be okay with it to hide behind race.
And my last point is, why does it have to take for any politician to do something when the white people start moving in? I mean, because, the inner city used to be a beautiful place at one time. But now when the white people start moving in, nothing against white people, now everybody want to be in front of the camera. They still ain't did nothing to these potholes because we got more potholes than funeral homes and caskets in the cemetery. But they're coming in and buying in, and you ask these politicians, especially our black politicians, they say, oh, well, we have no comment. Well, how can you uplift people or try to be that voice when it comes time to vote? They can say, well, my politician did this, versus saying, well, there's nothing I can do. Or when the Journal Sentinel puts you on blast, so when they ask you for something and they say you have nothing, but then when it comes to white people, oh, I got the S on my chest and Superman. I just wanted to share that, but I've been noticing that, and I just don't think that's healthy for the city.
All right. Thank you much. I appreciate it. Again, it's hard to argue with Al. And it's not that you don't want people to move in, but at some point, the more they move in, the more they want to make the world and the neighborhood the way they think it should be. And it's not your neighborhood. Like if you're new to a neighborhood, I'll just tell you, I live in Sherman Park. Sherman Park is one of the quote-unquote most diverse, if not the most diverse neighborhood in Wisconsin. Probably, definitely the city, but probably Wisconsin. And so there's an air people give you, an air of less than, right? That air of that subtle bigotry of low expectation. And it's unfortunate because I get it. I get it at work. I get it in the neighborhood. I get it places I go. There's this assumption that you're just not smart. I know more than you. We're going to withhold information from you almost purposefully so that we can have power and you can't, and we can constantly make you look bad. That is actually what I think. And so when that happens, and then they find out that you actually knew the information and had already made plans for it and mitigated it and took care of it, then all of a sudden, oh my God, like you're an anomaly. You're so smart. The only real estate we could put on King Drive was mixed housing. Moderate income, low income house. Like, why? Poor people don't take care of property. Like, we need to take the shades off we need to take the scales off our eyes, the sunglasses off, the rose-colored glasses, and see the world for what it is. Poor people. Notice I didn't say poor black people. Poor people do not take care of their property in many cases, right? Flip side, poor people are some of the best keepers of where they live and where they work and where they dress and where they eat than I've ever seen people who got money. In other words, it's you. It has nothing to do with socioeconomic anything. It's how you live and how you were raised and how you treat other people. But when you get people that come in to your neighborhood, Sherman Park, predominantly black, but very mixed, and treat you as if you're the anomaly when you've been there over 20 years, that's a problem. That is a problem. So when we look at sundown towns, we're not shocked. That poor young lady was in her 20s, maybe early 30s, and she didn't know because nobody told her there are literally still in America some places black people can't go. But then again, you don't want to go. And to my friends north of Highway 60, it's the same thing. If you don't want to be here, ready? If you don't want to be here, don't come. That's all. Just don't show up. Just don't be here. Don't roll through. Don't do any of that. That's what I'm saying. 833-212-1017 is the number. It's not taken. See, I pressed the button and held it. Yep. And see, every time I do it.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the new 1017 The Truth. Here is Sherwin Hughes with his truth.
I think you're spoiled. You have too many choices. We sometimes forget that having choice is a luxury. I can remember when I was a little kid, I either ate what my mother cooked for dinner or I starved. I didn't have the luxury of choice. Now we can choose anything and everything. We can choose which apps we want to be a part of. We can go and pick a new mate. We can decide what food we want to order. We have an unlimited amount of choice, and I think that we forget that choice is a luxury. You are either a winner or you're a loser. You're either going up or you're going down. You're either free or a slave. You are either woke or you are asleep. Those are called binary choices, and it's tough for people to understand just having two choices in a world that inundates us with unlimited choice. I know you don't like the candidates that are on your ballot come November. Guess what? They probably don't like you either. But you only have a binary choice. You either want this country to excel and succeed and explore new industries and be honest and fair about racial inequity. You either believe in climate change or you don't. You believe in democracy or you don't. You want a country that will do whatever it can to help people, all people, regardless of gender identity, regardless of national origin, or you want to take the low road and vote for the person that only wants to help himself with no regard for anyone else. Choice is a luxury. Unfortunately, too many of us forget that it's a luxury. Binary choice is all you have in November. I hope you choose wisely.
This has been Truth Takes on the new 1017 The Truth. Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Do you know or work with kids who have special healthcare needs? Help them live their best lives. Contact Wisconsin Wayfinder Children's Resource Network. Our specialists will connect you with services in your area. Wisconsin Wayfinder is free and confidential. Call 877-947-2929 or visit dhs.wi.gov/WISCWAY. Connect today. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I feel so stuck.
The Veterans Crisis Line is here for you. Dial 988, then press 1 to call.
Seriously injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today.
A handful of slowdowns across the system this afternoon. Westbound 94 between downtown and the zoo, you'll be slow starting at about 27th Street. 4145 southbound, you're tapping the brakes around Silver Spring down to Capitol Drive. Northbound 43 from downtown up to Brown Deer Road, you'll be slow from basically the Marquette interchange up through Keefe. On the southbound side, slow from Capitol Drive into downtown. Westbound 894 from the Mitchell into the Hale interchange, you'll be slow going from the Mitchell to about 76th Street. Same goes for eastbound 894. Mostly cloudy skies overnight tonight. Chance of a severe thunderstorm around southeast Wisconsin between midnight and 4 a.m. A low 68 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy. Rain will stick around through the early morning hours. Sunny, hot, and humid throughout the rest of the day. A high of 90 degrees. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Mike Spalding on 1017 The Truth.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Alex Tellez. Over in baseball, the Milwaukee Brewers' West Coast road trip ended in a win on Sunday as they took down the San Diego Padres by a final score of 6-2. Tobias Myers earning his 4th straight win after pitching 5 innings, allowing only 1 earned run. They pick it back up this Monday, taking on the defending World Series champs in the Texas Rangers in Milwaukee. First pitch is scheduled for 7:10, with coverage beginning over on WTMJ at 6:35. Brewers still currently sit at first place in the division with a 5-game lead over the St. Louis Cardinals. And over in the NBA, the Milwaukee Bucks continue to prepare for this year's 2024 NBA draft as day 1 is set for this Wednesday as the Bucks hold the 23rd pick in the draft. This sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams, member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth. I got to the part where it goes, ah, and I did it into the studio, and he looked at Ben instead of me. I thought you would have looked at me and went, like, you sound stupid. So here's my problem. I ran into some Gen Z this morning, right? Or this evening. We had a good conversation. But there's something I don't understand. Oh, I want to remind you that Truth Nation, you can join us or them, depending on if I get over there. When is it? Tomorrow? Today? I don't know what day is this? Monday? Okay. So tomorrow we'll be at Scene 1 Restaurant and Lounge for the Beyond the Mic with Sherwin Hughes. Sophisticated mixer. Y'all put sophisticated mixer in with Sherwin Hughes in the same sentence? Anyway, sophisticated. I got to get him back for mocking me all the time. Sophisticated mixer will include delicious cocktails, we'll see, great conversations, maybe, and unforgettable memories. Definitely get some video. Remember, from 5 to 6, your first drink is on our event sponsor, PWD Computers, and that's until supplies last. So we'll be at Scene 1 Restaurant and Lounge from 5 to 7 p.m. Also, if you get there at 5, so you don't miss your chance to win a one-night stay at Chula Vista in the Wisconsin Dells, or a 4-pack of tickets to Summerfest, or a pack of tickets to see the Milwaukee Brewers, or a $25 gift card to Cousin Sub. So whatever you want, whatever you need, you got to get there because that's all they're giving away. We want to say thank you to our event sponsor, PWD Computers, and we can't wait to see you at Beyond the Mic with Sherwin Hughes tomorrow, 5 to 7 p.m. at Scene 1 Restaurant and Lounge, located at 5526 West North Avenue in Milwaukee. 833-212-1017 is the number. So I was talking to some this one I'm gonna throw out on a whim because it kind of struck me as dumb. But anyway, from CBS 58, a culture war is consuming the nation and it has reached the streets of Milwaukee. Now get this. And I know you heard this already, but Gen Z has decided that ankle socks are not cool and only worn by millennials who are now old and out of touch. First of all, somebody that's a Gen Z telling somebody that they're old and out of touch when you haven't been alive long enough to know your name is kind of insulting to yourself because you're making yourself look stupid. This hosiery hostility has taken over social media and has even taken an A-list actress as a casualty. Really? Why would you let yourself be canceled by an idiot? Like the fact that other people would follow somebody else to talk about, like, socks is an idiot in and of themselves. And this is only why I keep talking about, you keep talking about generation, but you old. Yes, I want to be old. God has blessed me to get this far in life, further than you. Be careful, you might not make it. What's the Bible say? Touch not my anointed, do my prophet no harm. Be careful. Be careful. But what do? We complain about socks. Like literally when I say Gen Z hasn't really done anything or contributed anything to the world, now you can see why. 833-212-1017 is the number. And Sandra, you promised to call earlier this time instead of late. You're always late. You're always doing something. I swear that woman gets around more than I've ever seen anybody in my entire life. I love Truth Nation. Y'all be doing stuff. I'd be hoping I used to hope I could get half that age to do half the stuff you all do in your 70s and 80s. But yeah, y'all be doing it. Y'all be rocking it. I'm telling you. Help some of these young folks understand so that they don't make mistakes that we made. But they seem to think that they want to make whatever mistake so they can grow. So I say yes. You know what I'm saying? Sir Charles said, yeah, Dr. Ken, lately it's been very darn hard to disagree with Al. Moreover, how about Al for alderman? What you think? Al for alderman. You may as well. Ain't none of them doing nothing. And so when we come back, I want to jump on a couple things. I want to touch on a couple things after. First of all, we got the top 5 at 5 coming up. But I want to touch on, something Tori talked about with the 10 Commandments being in the schools. Maybe that's what we need. Maybe we actually need, like Louisiana, I need to put 10 Commandments in every school. Now, here's the kicker, right? 10 Commandments isn't Christian, it's Jewish, right? It's a part of the Old Testament. Are the 10 Commandments in the Pentateuch, the first 5 books? Anyway, so yeah, that's something we have to look at. That's something we have to look at. We also want to remind you that a late night storm is being bringing enhanced risk of severe weather to southeastern Wisconsin. Damaging winds up to 70 miles an hour and tornadoes are possible. Be prepared for power outages. Take shelter if warned. Y'all got one of them those warning radios with the battery in it, so when it goes off, like mine went off like 4 times the other night. Like you'll be sleeping, it'll go beep, 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 and you have to get up and press the button in order to listen to and it's a weather radio. And it told us we needed to take shelter. Well, southeastern Wisconsin is bracing for multiple rounds of showers and storms with the potential for severe weather developing overnight Monday into Tuesday morning. The Storm Prediction Center at WISN.com says it's upgraded the region to an enhanced risk, level 3 out of 5 for severe weather. First line of storms expected to arrive overnight, potentially lingering into Tuesday morning. So you might lose power. You might have a potential of straight line and events bringing up to 60 to 70 mile an hour. Quarter to golf ball size hail and isolated thunderstorms are possible. So whatever you got to get done in the morning, you might want to make sure you get it done like now. 833-212-1017 is the number. 44 minutes after the hour, we got Talking Text. We got Sandra and your call. 833-212-1017 is the number.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Bringing all the smoke to you.
I love what you're doing, and this radio station is just like what it's called. It's the truth.
Download the new 1017 The Truth app now. Milwaukee Black Talk. 1017 The Truth. All your favorite interviews and best moments live in one place.
I'm working in the morning, and I was listening back on the Truth app.
Download the new 1017 The Truth app now. Milwaukee Black Talk. 1017 The Truth.
You know one thing about Biden?
Here you go again.
When he makes a promise, he keeps it.
Okay, like what?
He got us out of the pandemic, got the country back on its feet.
Okay, sure.
And when all that recovery money was getting spent, Biden made sure that black businesses and communities got our fair share.
So, man?
That's a promise made and a promise kept.
Okay, but what else?
New roads, new bridges, high-speed internet, even out in the country where your brother lives.
Yeah.
Lower health insurance rates. Didn't your premiums go down?
Uh-huh.
That's another Biden promise kept.
Looks like it.
My mom's medication costs less. Your cousin's insulin is now only $35.
Okay, but what about jobs, building wealth?
Under Biden, the number of new black small businesses is booming, and black unemployment hit a record low. See? That's another...
Okay, I get it. Promise made, promise kept. I can see that now.
Told you. Biden and Harris are getting the job done for us.
I'm Joe Biden, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Biden for president.
For the brave men and women of our United States military, it's been said, some gave all, but all gave some. Here at Tabak Law, we honor these sacrifices by working to ensure veterans receive the benefits they're entitled to. I'm Jim Brzezinski, partner and VA-accredited representative at Tabak Law. If you're a vet and have been wrongfully denied or feel that your condition was not properly evaluated by the VA, visit tabakattorneys.com to set up a free evaluation. At Tabak Law, we fight for those who fought for us. Contact Tabak for the payback. tabakattorneys.com.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as one business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Come escape to Lake Lawn Resort. Enjoy stunning lakeside views, on-site golf, award-winning spa, and numerous dining options, including 1878 on the lake. Dive into the pools, explore water sports, or relax by the lakeside fire pits. Experience Lake Lawn Resort's newly renovated guest rooms, part of a multi-million-dollar upgrade for ultimate comfort and luxury. Whether it's a romantic getaway, family vacation, or corporate retreat, Lake Lawn Resort has it all. Book your stay at Lake Lawn Resort today and discover the perfect blend of adventure and relaxation.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Sandra, what's going on?
Hi, Dr. Ken.
How are you? How was your weekend? What's going on? Did you go to Summerfest?
Fine. No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't go to Summerfest, but I did. My weekend was loaded. I mean, it was supposed to be loaded today, too, but I kind of declined. But
look at you.
I've been getting out there.
She got a social calendar.
Yeah, I be saying I gotta get some rest. I got some work to do over here, at my house.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody says, "Come on, Sandra, let's go dance, or let's go here, let's go there." And I say, yes. I don't know how to say no. And so today I had to decline. And I heard you. You mentioned my name. You said Sandra said she's going to call Monday. I did say that. I did. I was just listening because sometimes you have to get into your topic. You know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'll know what you're talking about. And then like today and some of the other days you got into them, and then other people call. And so when they kind of call, I kind of sit back and listen to them. And I heard Al. He called and he was speaking about.
So what did you think about what Al said?
You know what? Sometimes Al, I don't see things the way he said. Because I grew up in this city, and I'm 75, and this city was very prosperous. And when they started taking the jobs out, moving them offshore, I think it kind of hit us with a low blow. Everybody was
many of those
right
jobs didn't move offshore. They moved to other states that were more open to.
Some of them did, yes.
Right. So it wasn't just offshore.
Well, from there, some of them did because once they, and get the cheapest way they want to have the products produced, they move out.
But it's their choice.
But then they blame the people.
But what do you mean blame the people?
Yeah, they own it. They blame us and say we want cheaper products. But they want more money. That's what it was.
That's not true. It's both. That's not true. It's both.
Well,
we got to stop blaming big business. Big business hired you and gave you a job.
Yeah.
You can't have it both ways.
Look,
they can't pay you a lot and make a lot of money for the fact.
We work for pennies. We work for pennies in the beginning.
Did you? You know most people don't have pensions.
Look,
you know most people don't have pensions.
I said pennies.
I don't care if you said pennies. Most people
Mm-hmm.
don't have pennies and they don't have pensions. You do.
Why are we going to afford stuff?
Huh?
If you don't save up billions of dollars for your old age, because by that time, okay, like now I'm 75, so it ain't so bad now. But just for the younger people now, about time they live to get that age, how much do you think stuff is going to cost? And do you think
but
they're going to
have
a
an
whole lot of
opportunity to save now? If they, that's funny you say that because I have a story about from Black Enterprise about insurance and what you should insure and not insure, how you should take care of yourself. That is what we have to do. We have to start teaching people not to think I got to be rich so I can do something, but you got to actually do it so you can be rich. But for some reason, we got it all messed up in our brain. And I don't understand that.
In my brain. I understand it. But I'm saying if you see how inflation hits us now.
Inflation hit in the 70s too. Inflation hit in the 70s too.
For years to come in advance. Just advance. I'm talking about way beyond this 2024 and on into.
Listen, this isn't anything new. The stock market crashing isn't new. Inflation isn't new. It's always happened. It happens every 20, 25.
But I think it's going to be off the market. You know, I mean, you talking about low income. You won't be seeing nobody in no low income. You won't see nobody here at all.
That's not true.
You probably see the robots do everything.
That's not true.
I believe so.
That is not true.
I believe so. You're going to have a few people, but they're probably going to be the ones that.
Why do you keep saying few people? There is a boatload of people that are middle class and upper middle class that are black. So y'all need to stop
but
that. What do you mean, but?
I'm not saying there isn't, but I'm saying the way things are going and why everything is just lapped up on. It's got to go with low income, and when they say low income, you know what that means. It's got to be you know who, or the crime, you know that's got, and we don't want police. Nobody never said that.
But that's what happened.
We didn't say we didn't want police. They said defund.
Black people keep saying they don't like the police. They don't want the police. They don't want to be a police state.
That was caused when they're killing black folks. Shooting them in the head.
No, we're killing black folks and shooting people in the head. And so if you could throw the trash out
as the ones
you can throw the trash out with black people killing black people. Come on now. That's garbage.
No, well, black people, there's a law for us.
There's a law for everybody.
Us if we kill. No, some people get away with it. But there's a law for us if we this will kill each other. It may not be.
Then why haven't we stopped? If the law is against us and the law is so bad, why haven't we stopped killing each other?
Maybe we need the 10 Commandments.
What do you mean maybe?
What do you mean maybe? Yeah, we need the 10 Commandments. And number one, you know what I say? Thoughts and prayers with the guns. And we keep saying thoughts and prayers. And somebody got shot up in Arkansas, right?
Okay.
At a grocery store or something. I heard that this morning.
Right.
And so what you going to tell him? Because you got to put rules and regulations in about these guns.
Well, the rules and regulations are already there. So when we come back, one of my top 5 at 5 stories is about a Supreme Court decision about guns.
Okay, well, I know they put out those bump stocks again. I'm sitting up here saying, what you mean with a bump
stocks? We're talking,
what do you mean with a machine gun? What do you mean with an AR-15 and 19?
An AR-15 is not a machine gun, and it's not an automatic gun.
Look, if we, the people, don't help make society better, it ain't going to get better.
It's not the gun, it's the person.
Some of us like crime.
People act a fool, not guns.
Some of us like crime. I think so. Some of us like the crime because you can use crime on the news. You can use crime.
You just blame everybody for everything except people being responsible for themselves.
I don't blame everybody.
Yes, you do. You blame big business for leaving. You blame everybody else for inflation.
Make money for businesses.
That's your job.
We can get CEO.
Isn't it your job to go to work to make as much money as you can? But wasn't that your job to go to work and make more money?
You can make. I don't care how much money you make.
Answer my question.
So what?
Answer my question. Why did you go to work to make as much money as you could?
That.
So then why'd you go to work?
Make as much as
so why'd you go to work?
I did go to work.
For what?
Me?
Yeah.
I went to work just for the bills and stuff, just to live, because you got to have some money to live.
That's not what I asked you. But, okay.
You said, why did I go to work?
Yeah.
I said I went to work to live. You know,
and make as much money as you can so you can live better, right?
I didn't make as much money as I could. I didn't even try because, like I said, I wasn't a politically an economist like that. But if I did make it, I wouldn't mind paying my fair share.
I got about 20 seconds. All right.
Okay. I'm done. Bye.
Okay, bye. People always get mad at me for, why are you screaming at Sandra? Like, did you hear the other side of her hollering at me and talking through everything I say? It's my show. She talked to me like she my mama or something. Top 5 at 5 coming up next. Thank you, Sandra, for the call. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris.
It's that time of the year, Truth Nation, for our Truth Walk Against Violence. Violence is a problem which impacts all of us, but together we can make a difference. This is why I need you to join me and the Truth Team on Saturday, July 20th from 9 to noon for our second annual Walk Against Violence. Enough is enough. Now it's time to bring an end to senseless violence in our community and encourage a safer Milwaukee for us all. Join our Walk Against Violence on Saturday, July 20th. Visit 1017thetruth.com and sign up today. Together, we can bring an end to violence.
Enough is enough.
Truth Nation, it is Denise Thomas from Truth Be Told with DT and Tellez, and I am so excited for you to tune in to our monthly interview with Old National Bank. Old National Bank will be joining us to discuss why they are so committed to supporting women and people of color-owned businesses, while also discussing their Empowerment Loan Program, which can provide your business access to funds up to $5 million. So don't miss our Truth Be Told monthly interview with Old National Bank at 8 a.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Being blind doesn't always look how others may think. Stargardt disease was supposed to define me.
Retinitis pigmentosa aimed to overwhelm my family.
It tried to cut me down.
A blinding eye disease attempted to force me away from doing what I was born to do.
But it cannot stop me. I have the tools.
I will keep moving forward.
Pushing past the limits of this disability.
I know where to find support and where I can be seen.
Loss of sight won't blind our vision. Innovative research, educational resources, supportive community. The Foundation Fighting Blindness is leading the charge in finding treatments and cures for blinding diseases. Learn more at fightingblindness.org. A public service message from the Foundation Fighting Blindness.
Pollution from trucks is a public health crisis. Diesel-burning trucks belch dangerous levels of pollution, and communities living near ports and along freight corridors breathe especially high levels of this dirty air. But this crisis has a solution. My name is Sasan Sadat, and I work for Earth Justice. I'm working to clean up our air quality, particularly for communities that bear the burden of diesel pollution. For the sake of our lungs, our health, and our climate, the future of trucking in this country has got to be zero emissions. Until then, I will never rest.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit defending the environment and people's health. Earth Justice is fighting to save lives, protect our climate, and strengthen our economy through the shift to zero emissions. If clean air matters to you, visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
Truth Nation, stand up and tap in. This is 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what, because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
Eight 833-212-1017 is the number. Ugh. It's been one of those days. And I thought the day was great. And I thought everything was going wonderful. And then I saw that thing that said severe threat tonight. And I went, yeah, weather again. Weather. Where you been?
You know, the rapture's coming, Ken, the rapture.
Well, I don't know if it's the rapture, but southeastern Wisconsin is at risk of severe weather overnight and into tomorrow with damaging winds, tornadoes possible, and Gulf-size hail. Again. So, I don't know. I quit. I'm going to live in La La Land. I don't know. I really don't get it. I honestly don't get it. No, I can't fire it from in here. I can only do the stack.
Number 5.
Now, if you put it in the stack and then put a execute workflow in between it, oops.
I ain't doing no work today.
Oops. I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to know how to do that. My bad. I didn't mean any of that. I take all that back. I watch and learn very fast. So here's the deal. A 24-year-old is dead after a shooting that happened on June 23rd around 2 a.m. near 14th and Atkinson in Milwaukee, according to Milwaukee Police Department. Police say 24-year-old was taken to a hospital where he was later pronounced dead. There are no arrests that have been made, and according to police, anyone with information is asked to call Milwaukee Police Department at 414-935-7360. I didn't hear anything because you didn't have it potted up. So now you got to go back and put 4 in. I go back and put 4 in.
Number 4.
All right, we're just experimenting and doing some things, and so this is the hour where
I told you I had to do nothing, and look what happened. Got caught sleeping on the job.
Is the next one number 3?
The next one is number 3.
Okay.
We're good to go. I got the stack up and ready to go for you.
I appreciate it. 2 people were taken to the hospital, and 1 person was arrested following a 3-car crash near Highway 100 in Blue Mound on yesterday, according to Wauwatosa Police Department. Police said it happened. They got the call around 3:50 p.m. According to Wauwatosa Police, a Hyundai traveling southbound on Highway 100 ran a red light at the entrance and exit to I-94. Like, that by itself is just dangerous. And struck 2 vehicles, a Volkswagen and a Toyota, that were turning northbound onto Highway 100 from I-94. Both people inside the Hyundai fled, but were later detained by police. One of the people running away began walking on the freeway entrance. The driver of the Hyundai and the sole occupant of the Volkswagen were taken to a hospital. Injuries appear to be non-life-threatening. Nobody from the Toyota was injured, and police said the driver of the Hyundai was arrested for what? What do you think he was arrested for? What do you think? I could tell you. Operating while intoxicated. Wow. Shocker.
Number 3.
Ed Policy has been named the next Green Bay Packers chairman, president, and CEO. I wish I had a job that gave me to be the boss's boss, and the boss of the boss. So the board is the boss of the president, of the CEO, who's the boss of the president, and he's the boss of all. Like, how you do that? How you do that? Like, I don't understand. He'll take over from Mark Murphy in July of next year. Policy currently serves as the Packers chief operating officer and general counsel. Oh gosh, another lawyer. He's been with the organization for nearly 13 years and was elected to his new position by unanimous vote of the Packers board of directors. He was selected from a list of 90 candidates. 90. Is that too many? 90? That's a lot. 90? Ridiculous.
Number 2.
Justice Sotomayor lashed out at the Supreme Court colleagues on last Friday. She was kind of steamed. And so here's why. Here's why she's upset. Same-sex couples. Well, she says this ruling on a spousal visa is going to be bad for same-sex couples, and I'm trying to figure out how she twisted this into harmful for same-sex couples. So hear this. Same-sex couples may be forced to relocate to countries that do not recognize same-sex marriage or even those that criminalize homosexuality. Sotomayor wrote in her dissent that was joined by Justices Elena Kagan and Ketanji Brown Jackson. The opinion comes in the case of Sandra Munoz, an American citizen who married a citizen of El Salvador who was denied an immigrant visa to the United States. Munoz sued the State Department over the issue, alleged the government did not provide sufficient reason to deny her husband a visa, which, if I'm not mistaken, does it really have to tell you why you can't let somebody in the country that ain't in the country? And that just because you say you got married, that don't necessarily make it so? Well, the State Department, meanwhile, argued that officials suspected the husband of being a member of MS-13. Citing tattoos, the man has that seemingly signal affiliation with the gang. The couple has denied the accusation, but in a 6-3 decision, the court ruled that Munoz has a right to marry, but that her husband does not have a right to live in the U.S. with her. It is kind of hard to argue that. They said, in fact, this is what Justice Amy Coney Barrett said, Congress's longstanding regulation of spousal immigration, including through bars on admissibility, cuts the other way. As a general matter, Congress sets the terms for entry, and the State Department implements those requirements at U.S. embassies and consulates in foreign countries. Coney Barrett was joined by Justices Clarence Thomas, Samuel Alito, Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, and Chief Justice John Robertson, the majority. Yet Sotomayor said in her dissent that the majority of rulings put the fate of U.S. couples in the hands of other governments. They're not U.S. couples because one is not a citizen. But a burden, she argued, would mostly fall heavy on same-sex couples. So you don't really care about heterosexual couples? Anyway, the majority failure to respect the right of marriage in this country consigns U.S. citizens to rely on the fickle grace of other countries' immigration laws. Well, that's what we do anyway. Partly letting people just roll in when they want. If you're not a spouse, if you're a spouse and you're not a citizen, you're not a citizen. Now, they can't stop you from getting married, but they can stop you from coming in the country. And yes, you're right. You might get sent back to a country that is anti-homosexuality or anti-black or anti-white and get killed. Then what? I mean, I'm just saying. But, you know, nobody ever listens to me.
Number 1.
The Supreme Court on Friday upheld a federal gun control law that extended to protect victims of domestic violence. Now, here's what I don't understand. Here's what I'm going to always call out. When Republicans take credit for something somebody else did, and when Democrats take credit for something somebody else did, when any politician takes credit for something that somebody else did, it like really freaks me out. But I'm going to read this story. The Supreme Court on Friday upheld a federal gun control law that is intended to protect victims of domestic violence. In their first Second Amendment case since they expanded gun rights in 2022, the justices ruled, listen to this, 8-1 in favor of a 1994 ban on firearms for people under restraining orders to stay away from their spouses or partners. The justices reversed a ruling from the Federal Appeals Court in New Orleans that has struck down the law. Chief Justice John Roberts wrote for the court, said the law uses common sense and applies only after a judge determines that an individual possesses a credible threat of physical violence. Justice Clarence Thomas, the author of the major 2022 Bruin ruling in the New York case, dissented. I believe Clarence Thomas is incorrect. President Joe Biden, who's been critical of previous high court rulings on guns, abortion, and other hot-button issues, praised the outcome. Last week, the court overturned a Trump-era ban on bump stocks, the rapid-fire accessories used in the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history. The court ruled that the Justice Department exceeded its authority in imposing that ban. I think the legislature needs to do the ban. It's interesting because people are giving the Biden administration credit when in fact that particular law has been in place 25 years, maybe 24 years, since the mid-90s. Like, you got arrested or you had a restraining order, you automatically couldn't have a gun. You couldn't have a weapon. If you got arrested for DV, if you were on like all that. And so it's kind of odd that we would start this look at the Second Amendment as if it's sacrosanct and it can't be touched. That's just not true. There are some instances that are clear where you should not have a gun, period. And you don't get one. You might be mentally ill if someone suspects. We do need some, what they call them, red whatever laws. We need some of those to stop people from doing stupid stuff. Friday's case stemmed directly from the Supreme Court's Bruin decision in June of 2022. A Texas man was accused of hitting his girlfriend during an argument in a parking lot and later threatened to shoot her. At the arguments in November, some justices voiced concern that a ruling for Rahimi, who was the Texas man, could also jeopardize the background check system that the Biden administration said has stopped more than 75,000 gun sales in the past 25 years based on domestic violence protective orders. The case also had been closely watched for its potential to affect cases in which other gun ownership laws have been called into question, including the high-profile prosecution of Hunter Biden. Biden's son was convicted of lying on a form to buy a firearm while he was addicted to drugs. His lawyers have signaled that they will appeal. A decision to strike down the domestic violence gun law might have signaled the court's skepticism on other laws as well, but Friday's decision did not suggest that the court would necessarily uphold those laws either. The justices could weigh in on more or one of the other cases. So what it comes down to, gun rights groups backed Rahimi, which I think is idiotic. arguing that the appeals court got it right when it looked at American history and found no restriction close enough to justify the gun ban. Of all the people that have been shot and killed in domestic violence situations, all the women that are dead today because of abusive husbands who were on paper. I remember one distinctly where a woman came home from work and got off the bus and was shot and killed. Or stabbed or whatever it was. Doesn't matter. She was killed because the person got released and should have, the fact that you could sit here and argue that in favor of a person who literally admitted saying they were going to kill somebody and the person got a restraining order, but it's okay for them to have a gun? All I can say is I'm glad you're not on the Supreme Court.
More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation!
And all our juicy jammers out there.
Make certain that you tap into Jam with Juice each and every day so you can quench your thirst.
That is right. You already know you can sip on us every single day, like Benjamin said, from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. But that's not all, y'all.
Catch us exclusively on YouTube for our 6 to 7 show.
Yep, only on Thursdays.
Catch Jamming with Juice each and every day on 1017 The Truth.
Now sip on that.
The Empowerment Small Business Loan Program, we're talking about up to $5 million, which for small business owners, we need that. That's like payroll, that's resources. So can you just let us know what is the program and why is this lending program so important to Old National Bank?
Years ago, our CEO, Jim Ryan, this program is his brainchild. He was working with Roland Shelton, who you know, Denise, out of Evansville, and they identified that African-American business owners, Hispanic business owners, Native American business owners, as well as women business owners had a difficult time in obtaining financing from the traditional credit partners. And so we went out, created a program, launched it last year in 2023. And so far last year, we have helped over 100 successful minority and women-owned businesses with about $25 million in loans. We've already started this year with almost $8 million in approvals, again, geared toward minority business owners and women business owners that normally had difficulties in obtaining traditional credit finance.
Come escape to Lake Lawn Resort. Enjoy stunning lakeside views, on-site golf, award-winning spa, and numerous dining options, including 1878 on the lake. Dive into the pools, explore water sports, or relax by the lakeside fire pits. Experience Lake Lawn Resort's newly renovated guest rooms, part of a multi-million-dollar upgrade for ultimate comfort and luxury. Whether it's a romantic getaway, family vacation, or corporate retreat, Lake Lawn Resort has it all. Book your stay at Lake Lawn Resort today and discover the perfect blend of adventure and relaxation.
Calling all MPS alumni and supporters. Grab your golf clubs and show up and show out for Milwaukee's kids. The MPS Foundation is proud to announce the inaugural MPS Foundation Golf Outing for MKE's future. Happy Wednesday, June 26th at Brown Deer Golf Course. Grab your foursome and head to mpsfdn.org for more info and to sign up. That's mpsfdn.org. Call Vanessa Claypool today to register. Together, we can drive positive change for Milwaukee's schools.
It's Summerfest. Milwaukee, are you ready? 600 artists, 3 unforgettable weekends, 1 epic lakefront. Summerfest, presented by American Family Insurance. Find tickets, lineup, and more at summerfest.com.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
sunshine. Sunshine. Everybody loves the sunshine. Sunshine.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. From the Hill, the Supreme Court. I don't know who blew up the Supreme Court, but somebody put like 10,000 bazillion cases in the Supreme Court. And this is one of them. Oh, by the way, I want to remind you, I was about to say warn you, but I guess if you see my face, that would be like warning you. You can stream and watch us live on YouTube and X at 1017 The Truth and 1017thetruth.com. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the button that like, but then subscribe on YouTube so that you never miss a show live, because then you'll get the notification that, hey, Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken is coming up, and then you'll know. Anyway, I digress. On thehill.com, Supreme Court is going to have a decision to hear. They're going to hear a case on Tennessee's gender-affirming care ban for minors, set the stage for potential blockbuster in implementing transgender protections. So I'm going to read the story, and then I'm going to tell you how I feel about it. Notice I said, well, let me rephrase that. I'm going to show you what I think about it. It marks the first time the justices will weigh in on the issue, which could impact laws passed by 24 Republican-led states since 2021 that ban medications like puberty blockers and hormones for transgender children and teens. Legal challenges mounted by transgender youths, their families, and medical providers have been met with mixed results. A federal judge earlier this month struck down a Florida law barring access to gender-affirming health care for minors and certain adults. So this is not health care. This is not healthcare. I look at healthcare as something that you use. Let me put it like this. I equate this to plastic surgery. Plastic surgery is not healthcare. It's in the healthcare industry, but it ain't healthcare, because it's something that you choose for yourself. And anything you choose for yourself is not healthcare. I look at healthcare as there's an ailment you have. There's a disease or sickness, and that you then go get help. That's what I call healthcare. Again, a federal judge earlier this month struck down a Florida law barring access to gender-affirming health care for minors and certain adults, and a similar Arkansas law was ruled unconstitutional last year. Federal court orders are blocking the enforcement of bans in Montana and Ohio. Monday's announcement, which was today, has left LGBTQ rights activists grateful they will get their day in the nation's highest court to object to Tennessee's ban, but also apprehensive about where the conservative-leaning court will land. Well, here's the problem I have with it. No person, an adult, should be overriding what a parent says and allowing their child to get what would we call it? What exactly would I call it? Puberty blockers and hormones. I don't think any child should get that. No child. No teenager should get that. When you're 18, you can choose to do whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do it, with whoever you want to do it. That's just my feeling. I don't feel a way for or against anybody that does that. I'm saying that as a child, the parent's rights supersedes the child. The state doesn't come in and act as the parent. The federal government doesn't have a right to come in and take care of the parents. And if you are mentally ill and you decide to do something that is detrimental to you, or that may later be detrimental to you, would you let somebody do that? Like, would you let somebody who was schizophrenic buy a gun, right? So you wouldn't let somebody schizophrenic have gender affirming or changing or whatever surgery. That's all I'm saying. No, I'm not calling it a mental health issue. No, I'm not saying that at all. And so we have to look at this. These are not transgender protections. Children don't have a right to just get them because they want them. Children cannot make, you're talking about a child that cannot make a decision to drive, cannot make a decision to drink, cannot make a decision to join the military, cannot make a decision to sign a contract, but that same child can decide what they want in terms of identity, puberty blockers, and hormones. And we're supposed to let them do it? Absolutely not. What are your thoughts? 833-212-1017. Where do you want the Supreme Court to line up on? We keep saying parents aren't doing their jobs, but when gay rights activists decide that they want their way, they use children. They're no better than people at MPS and people at wherever who use children to do their bidding. No child should drive a car under a certain age, should be able to drink or smoke under a certain age. You definitely shouldn't be getting puberty blockers and hormones until you're an adult and you can make that decision yourself. I don't think that's unreasonable. But some people think that's actually unreasonable. And I don't get it because if somebody slapped your child and didn't tell you, you'd lose your mind. If somebody hollered at your child, disciplined your child, and didn't tell you, you would lose your mind. Now you're saying it's okay for a doctor to come in and literally alter the physiology of your child without you knowing it, and they have a right to say that it's okay. 833-212-1017. Are you for or against children being able to freely get medications like puberty blockers and hormones? Because in the end, the person, if something goes wrong, you're going to end up blaming who? The parent. The parent. 833-212-1017 is the number. Traffic, sports, and weather up next.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the new 1017 The Truth. Here is Dr. Ken Harris with his truth.
We're at a turning point in Milwaukee's political history as we go towards the end of this year and into 2025. The choices we make now will have a lasting impact on our city in the future. The impending financial difficulties necessitate a cooperative strategy that unites every aspect of our society to create long-term fixes. There has never been any question about the tenacity and the spirit of Milwaukeeans, and it is this strength that we need to utilize more than ever. Our future depends on creative problem solving, utilizing cross-border alliances, and being dedicated to making sure that all Milwaukeans' voices, especially those of the historically marginalized, are acknowledged and heard during the policymaking process. Prioritizing equitable development will ensure that long-standing imbalances are addressed and economic growth will benefit all Milwaukee citizens. You know, it's essential to make investments in Milwaukee's public services, infrastructure, educational systems in order to both prevent the budget crisis and create a more robust and energetic city. Now, as we traverse these obstacles, let us never forget that our community is our most valuable resource. And by working together, we can overcome any challenge and create a future that embodies Milwaukee's greatest qualities, which are resilience, being inclusive, and being a successful city.
This has been Truth Takes on the new 1017 The Truth. Listen to The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris, weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, Teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
A handful of slowdowns across the system this afternoon. Westbound 94 between downtown and the zoo. You'll be slow starting at about 27th Street. 4145 southbound. You're tapping the brakes around Silver Spring down to Capitol Drive. Northbound 43 from downtown up to Brown Deer Road. You'll be slow from basically the Marquette interchange up through Keefe. On the southbound side, slow from Capitol Drive into downtown. Westbound 894 from the Mitchell into the Hale interchange. You'll be slow going from the Mitchell to about 76th Street. Same goes for eastbound 894. Mostly cloudy skies overnight tonight. Chance of a severe thunderstorm around southeast Wisconsin between midnight and 4 a.m. A low 68 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy. Rain will stick around through the early morning hours. Sunny, hot, and humid throughout the rest of the day. A high of 90 degrees. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Mike Spalding on 101.7 The Truth.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Alex Tellez. Over in baseball, the Milwaukee Brewers' West Coast road trip ended in a win on Sunday as they took down the San Diego Padres by a final score of 6-2. Tobias Myers earning his 4th straight win after pitching 5 innings, allowing only 1 earned run. They pick it back up this Monday, taking on the defending World Series champs in the Texas Rangers in Milwaukee. First pitch is scheduled for 7:10, with coverage beginning over on WTMJ at 6:35. Brewers still currently sit at first place in the division with a 5-game lead over the St. Louis Cardinals. And over in the NBA, the Milwaukee Bucks continue to prepare for this year's 2024 NBA draft as day 1 is set for this Wednesday as the Bucks hold the 23rd pick in the draft. This sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams, member FDIC.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. Hey, Truth Nation, violence is a problem that affects us all. But together we can make a difference. The award went, where'd the music go? It just Ben was like, hey, man, I got something to do. But together we can make a difference. An award-winning, thank you, sir. An award-winning 101.7 The Truth wants to ignite positive change and bring awareness to the senseless violence occurring in our community. That's why we are hosting our second annual Truth Walk Against Violence, led by Tori Lowe, on Saturday, July 20th, from Victory Over Violence Park, down MLK Drive, right to our studio at the 3rd Street Market. Over the next month, Tori will be speaking with and talking about community leadership and how we can better provide resources and work as a community to rise up against violence. So if you want to fight to stop violence and fight to stop these children being shot and killed and all that stuff, just go to 1017thetruth.com right now. Sign up for our Walk Against Violence on Saturday, July 20th. You ever read something and you're arguing about it in your head and you want to say something different, but your ADHD wants to say one thing, but you got to read something else and it starts fighting against each other? I'm troubled that we're having a second annual Walk Against Violence, and you should be too. Go to the walk, Saturday, July 20th. Go to the walk. Go to 1017 The Truth, sign up. But you should be bothered that you have to have a second annual because nobody listened at the first annual. People showed up, people supported, people came out. It was great. I was there. But we still keep having the shootings and the killings and the children and the babies. And Seems like nobody cares. Have people given up about Milwaukee? I haven't. Have people decided, you know what? It's just not my jam. I don't get it. I don't understand. This city literally, more than ever, is on the precipice of being either really great or not so much. And I don't think people want it to be better. I don't think people can see just how great this city is. Talking text line, Dr. Ken, you hit the nail on the head as far as that goes. Well delivered without bias. I'm also most certain that there are far many than few that adamantly share and respect the same doggone sentiment. He said, and how do you address the high suicide rate of transgender youth? There is never just one silver bullet. Mental health, support groups, and certain situations, medication. No, that's not what I'm talking about. See, you're missing my point. I'm talking about the medication that you would give a person to change their body because they want to change their gender. You do it, but not as a child. Number two, what are the numbers for the suicide rate for transgender youth? Yes, they need help, they need support, they need mental health support, but having a child who literally, like most adults, does not have the actual mental capacity of an adult till they hit about age 25, that's a problem to let a child make that decision. Don't you think? Like, wouldn't you think it would be a problem for a child? Would you let your 5-year-old make a decision as to what they want to eat for dinner? But I'm going to let what? A 10-year-old say that I don't want to be a boy, I want to be a girl, or I don't want to be a girl, I want to be a boy? If you feel that way today, you'll feel that way a year, 2 years from now, 10 years from now, whatever the age. I think that's reasonable. But you don't let a child make a life-changing change that's, for all intent and purpose, irreversible. Brian said the transgender issue is a health care issue. No, it is not. It has nothing to do with health care. It has everything to do with you letting a child make a decision that they shouldn't make. What the ban wants to do is, and I understand your issue about the ban, I'm sure that same child can get health care, support group, therapy, stuff like that, if they so choose, to prepare them for what they're going to choose to do in the future. I get it. It's directly linked to mental health care. So what are you saying? But besides, it's a medical issue, and no one has the right to even know what you are going through medically because of medical laws. Not true. Not true. It can be made public under some circumstances. So, but I understand what you're trying to say. But you don't have a right as a child. Your parents have that right. Now watch this. Even if your parents have a right, does the weight of the outcome supersede your parents' rights? In other words, if your child becomes transgender and changes, only to later realize they made the wrong decision and their parents let them, how would you feel about your parents? Wouldn't you be upset with your parents? Like, how could you let me do this? Well, we just wanted what was best for you. How would a child know what's best for them? I haven't met a child that knew what was best for them. Some children can choose what's best for them because what? They guessed right. But by and large, making a rational, non-emotional, non-biased argument? No. I don't think so. Al said, I'm not an activist. I'm not. I do. Some people have given up or just feel having low standards is okay because having low expectations doesn't require work. Yeah, that's true. You know that's true. Let a child make a decision on sex or gender when they're 18. Yep. Turn 18, knock yourself out. Because then you have to live with the decision. And to be honest with you, there's some things you can't do till you're 21. There's some decisions we don't expect you can make till you're 21. You can be a firefighter when you're 18 because you point a hose. Or 19, I think, some 20s, whatever it is. Because you point a hose and there's always a person there. There's a lieutenant or a captain or some battalion chief. There's somebody there. I don't know firefighting. I'm not a firefighter. But I got friends who are firefighters. But when it comes to law enforcement, and I'm giving you a gun, you got to be 21. And then after you go through training, right, and then you go through probation, you're what, 23? By the time 24 by the time you are actually carrying a gun on your own? So I can see that. But like Al said, sometimes, why don't we just focus on letting kids be kids?
For this year, the One Call That's All Gruber Cash giveaway is now a $5K giveaway. Yes, you heard it right. $5,000 giveaway. Every weekday on 1017 The Truth, you will have the chance to be entered to win the $5K giveaway. Listen to the truth for the One Call That's All cue to call for your chance to win $5,000. Gruber Law Offices. One Call That's All. Visit 1017thetruth.com for official contest rules.
What distinguishes Old National Bank from other lenders in helping people buy their first home and furthering their small businesses?
One thing that really makes us stand out is our grants. We have 2 really big grants right now specifically for first-time home buyers buying in Milwaukee County. The first one is for $15,000. They have to be buying within Milwaukee County and reach certain income limits. And then the second one is for $20,000, and that is through the Federal Home Loan Bank of Indiana. We're headquartered in Indiana, as you know, Denise. So that is a second grant, and that is really the highest, most robust grant program throughout the entire southeastern Wisconsin area. So it's up to $35,000 essentially that a person could be receiving for their first home. If you are in a position that you're looking to buy your first home throughout Milwaukee County, please give me a call. Please contact me. I'm more than happy to help everybody that I can.
And what's your number, Anna?
Sure.
How can they reach you?
414-978-0283.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know whether it's a new home or a new car. You've worked hard to achieve your dreams, and we work hard to protect them so you can enjoy the utmost peace of mind. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Are you now 18 or older and need a driver's permit? Greater Milwaukee Urban League's free driver's permit classes can put you in the driver's seat. You'll learn the rules of the road from qualified instructors, moving you one step closer to successfully earning your driver's license permit. You may also qualify for free behind-the-wheel instruction. Classes are available June through September. You can attend virtually or in person. Visit tmul.org for more information.
We not the Geek Squad, but we get the problem solved. Computer giving you problems, you need to drop it off. HD surveillance, residential or commercial. PWD computers, call us up and let us know. If you need a custom computer, yeah, we can build it for you. Business brand to help you expand, get more exposure. We offer graphic designs and networking. We keep you connected in the world that's not perfect. PWD Computers, 3800 West Valley Street, 414-445-5793. Monday through Friday, 10:30 to 5.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Talking text line. Lanthea said, children want to do whatever makes them comfortable for the moment. I had a student who wanted to be a girl, so his best friend, a girl, would play with him while she is going through her girl's friend's phase. I told her she had to play with everyone or no one. He was fine after that. So, did you call the little boy by a girl's name? And did you get the parents' permission to do that? I wonder. I'm just saying. See, I'm a parents' rights activist. Like when I hear children's rights, it makes me like weird, because if a child is in a bad place, that's what the courts are for. That's what social workers are for. But then sometimes I would see the social worker come in and go so far, well, we got to protect the child. From what? I told the story of the kid who had karate and people at school. The child's getting beaten. We need to send the police. Child was a karate expert. Won first place at a taekwondo. My brain just went boop, a ceremony, right? And so they go to the tournament. They win. They're first place, which means they probably had to fight like what, 4 or 5, 6 times over the course of a weekend? Come on. They're going to get battered. They're going to get bruised, kicked in the head, kicked in the face, kicked in the shoulder. I don't know if they kicked her in the face because she didn't have any bruising on her face. But the fact that the teacher called the police is one thing. But the social worker was like, the parents need to be locked up. I'm like, you don't even know what happened yet. Like, how are you possibly saying somebody should go to jail? You don't have any facts. Nothing. And so they came in and showed us, and all the kicks were the biceps, forearm, back of the hand, back of the leg, outside, not inside, outside. And so what it looked like is she had gotten beaten when, in fact, she was blocking kicks and blocking strikes. And I was like, okay. Well, why do you say it makes okay? Because I've taken martial arts as well. And those are consistent with what she's saying. Not to mention the trophy she brought home that was literally taller than her. Now what? It's just, sometimes I think we go so far to protect. But then there are instances where you should have went far and you didn't. Just like the 17-year-old that shot and killed somebody and had gotten out on a $750 bond. So, children do what makes them comfortable, and, they need to be taught discipline and work ethic and all those things. But Al said it best. Let kids be kids. Let children do what they do. And every time they come up with something silly, and every time they come up with something that don't make no sense, and every time they come up with something that they shouldn't be doing, correct them and send them on their way. I think parents have become friends to their children, and that's just weird to me. We've actually become friends. But I want to get back to my open. Bring it full circle. 833-212-1017 is the number. Bring it full circle. Sundown towns. We have them in Wisconsin. We have them to the point where people know where not to go in Wisconsin. And that's bizarre to me. Like there are some towns in Wisconsin where they have sundown And so we keep talking about whether a town was, and I don't really care if it was. I don't really care if a town was. It's over now, right? It's been changed, so it's okay. It was like, you know, they talk about where was it? Janesville, Appleton. You know, I mean, okay, I could see that. Seriously, I could see sundown towns in Appleton, Janesville. Hey, Mequon used to be a sundown town, according to a database of possible sundown towns across the country, originally compiled by James Lowen, a now deceased historian and author of the book Sundown Towns, A Hidden Dimension of Racism. I mean, I can see that. I can definitely see that. And so when we talk about it, you know, everybody wants you to remove pages and remove, we shouldn't be saying things like that because it's, you know, we'll make the sound feel bad. Well, Reddit has an article that says, I saw a TikTok talk about sundown towns and how some of the towns are still active today in the U.S. I did some research and found that Appleton, La Crosse, Mequon, and Sheboygan were once considered sundown towns here in Wisconsin. And I wanted to bring this here and see if anyone knew if these towns still continue the practice or if anyone is aware of any other towns that once were or are still sundown towns. Well, if you used to be, I'm okay. If you used to be. If you're still one, I got a problem. Like at some point, people need to wake up. Like in 2024. But at the beginning of the show, I played the TikTok video of the FedEx worker who talked about the fact that you know, she was in a place where she couldn't go to certain towns and do late deliveries because they had a law. And I don't know if it was written into the fabric of the town in terms of their ordinances or the fact that people just accepted the fact that black people couldn't go there. But for me, I would have no problem. And so I'm seeing on Reddit as people talk about things from the 60s, let's deal with 2024, like the last 5 years or so, last 10 years, to see if a town is a sundown town. That's what I would want to know if I lived here, you know. I would just want to make sure I knew that because there's a history in Wisconsin of towns that I'm looking at right now that used to be sundown towns. But is it fair for you to blame a town as being a sundown town when it used to be in the 1960s or 70s? I say no. Yeah, Janesville was one of them. But they've got, places like Appleton and Baraboo and Beaver Dam and, Brown Deer. Well, I don't know. Possibly. But are we ever going to get over what was done to us in the past? I didn't say forget it. I'm saying, are we going to get over what happened and move forward and create a better world for our children and our grandchildren? You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Tori Lowe's show is coming up next. I'll be back in about 22 hours, God willing. Be careful. There's supposed to be extreme weather tonight going into tomorrow morning with damaging wind, tornadoes possible overnight. So make sure you hunker down. If you got plants and flowers and all sorts of stuff out, make sure you might want to make sure you put them up. Make sure they're safe. Thank you, Ben. Jamming. Appreciate you.
It's amazing.
God bless. Take care. I'll see you in 22 hours. I'm out.
Summerfest is back, and the award-winning 1017 The Truth has got you covered with front row access passes to the best concerts at Summerfest this year.
Tune in to all your favorite Truth shows every day so you do not miss your chance to win tickets and wristbands to see artists like SZA, Bryson Tiller, Lil Uzi Vert, En Vogue, K-Camp, and so many more.
Don't miss your chance to see these artists up close and personal during Milwaukee's biggest summer party. Summerfest is presented by our founding partner, American Family Insurance.
1017 The Truth and Associated Bank have teamed up for our Black-owned business give back. Each quarter, we'll be giving away $6,000 worth of free commercial advertising for 3 months to 5 Black businesses. To sign up for your business's chance to win $6,000 of commercial campaign marketing on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, visit blackbusinessgiveback.com. That's blackbusinessgiveback.com. Let's rebuild our community's backbone through exposure on the truth. For official rules, head to blackbusinessgiveback.com. Associated Bank, member FDIC.
My name is Ariel. When I arrived in the U.S. at 19, I struggled to find job opportunities without my high school diploma. My entire life changed when I took a chance and got my high school diploma at age 22. Everything I have, my education, my career, my marriage, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and my teachers. They were with me every step of the way, helping with my English and math, making sure I push through all the challenges.
Ariel, your success proves that what I'm doing as a teacher has real meaning.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
Education was the key that unlocked all my opportunities.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. And never give in to a meltdown. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never let them have too much screen time. And never bribe them for just one more bite. You say you'd never let them out in public without their hair brushed. Never, ever become a minivan mom. And you'd never give them your phone for a quiet dinner.
Calling boss work phone.
So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, no, it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Milwaukee's Black Talk lives here. You are listening to 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha, and W269. The place for the realest conversations.
I appreciate United Garden Homes for stopping through with a check for $2,000.
Yes.
Some people came through anonymously.
Yes.
Dropped off money. The family has received those funds. And whatever you can do, if everybody do a little, Nobody has to do a lot.
The movement continues.
Did you ever think that you would be in this position right now where your daughter would have some way lose her life?
I didn't want to believe it. All the times I called, sometimes the phone would ring and ring and ring for days. I didn't want to know that she had successfully committed suicide.
What are some of the conditions in the jail that got people upset, like the living conditions on a day-to-day basis?
We'll come out our cell at 11 o'clock in the morning. We'll get food and we'll get medication. So that shortens the time. Out of those 2 hours, we'll probably get an hour out, and then we'll have to lock back down. And by lock back down, I mean we're staying in our cell. We get fed in our cells. We don't come out our cell at all, and that's pretty much the biggest problem. And they simply say that they're short-staffed, but that's not enough because they knew that they were going to be short-staffed. Like, this has been a problem for over 2 years now.
The marathon continues.
There's never been a better time to make change in the city of Milwaukee, starting with the youth. And we talked about the housing. Willie Hines, y'all boy Willie Hines, and they trying to change the leadership over there. We got our hands full, and it's not the time. But we got attorney B. Ivy Lamar on the lines right now, calling from the courthouse. How you doing, attorney B. Ivy Lamar?
Hey, what's going on, Tori? I'm good, man. Happy to be here.
Joining me on the line, Dr. Umar Johnson. How you doing, brother, Dr. Umar Johnson?
Peace and Pan-Africanism, good brother, Black Power, to all my brothers and sisters in Milwaukee, Kenosha, Green Bay, Racine, and across the state of Wisconsin.
Yo, peace, King. I'm going to stand with you and walk with you, brother.
God bless you.
Because I think it's an important thing, what you're doing, and you need to have the support of the community. Regardless if we live in these areas or not, it all affects us in one way or shape or form.
It's time for that action and all the smoke. This is the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association award-winning Tory Lowe Show on 101.7 The Truth app, and streaming live on YouTube.
Yam, pam, jam.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, wow.
Man, best show in the world, bro. You got the best show in the world. Hope you know that, man.
God bless you, brother. I appreciate that.
Speak up to you both. Thank you so much. Tori, you spoke to my kids. Liz, you did too. But you spoke to my kids, and when I tell you both that they was talking about what we did earlier that morning all day, that's literally what they was doing. They was talking about it all day. My son was just hollering, awesome. Where's Tori? Like,
tell Tony, all aboard. It's okay to jump on the love train.
I'm not jumping on the love train.
We might got a couple seats left.
Listen, he ain't going to be, Jordan Love will not be the starter in 5 years.
Trash. That's a trash.
That's just my take.
Now you're trying to string it out.
I know that ain't who I think it is.
Well, I'll need some apologies from the staff of 101.7.
Oh, wow. Wait a minute. I think the line's messing up. Hey, Eddie. Oh, I guess something happened with Eddie.
Hush up, boy.
And they have an agenda. And the agenda is a satanic one. I don't know why people don't talk about it. You can't talk.
Yo. They just empty.
I want to make sure that I let you know that to hear a person and have a person like you in this community, the way that you are